Hello and welcome. My name's Tracy Howson and I am the rector's wife, and I'm happy to share this moment with you today, and I have the opportunity to share with you a reflection. I'd like to take you through portions of Psalm 31. I'm going to take little sections out of this psalm. I'm going to read to you the first portion that I'd like to share, and it's from Psalm 31 verse 9. Be merciful to me, Lord, for I am in distress. My eyes grow weak with sorrow, my soul and body with grief. My life is consumed by anguish, and my years by groaning. My strength fails because of my affliction, and my bones grow weary and weak. Because of all my enemies, I am in utter contempt of my neighbours, and an object of dread to my closest friends. Those who see me on the street flee from me. I am forgotten as though I were dead. I have become like a broken pottery, for I hear many whispering, terror on every side. They conspire against me and plot to take my life. David is experiencing internal personal pain, emotionally, mentally, and physically. Plus, he is experiencing reputational pain from external sources, with added fear of losing his life. He has been ostracized and left alone. His words in verses 9 to 13 show his suffering on every human level. He is feeling broken and useless. He refers to himself as broken pottery. What usefulness is there in broken pottery? Maybe you know how David feels. Perhaps you have experienced the same level of pain, physical pain, emotional pain, or mental illness. Maybe you've experienced misrepresentation or poor mental health. I'd like you to think a little bit more about whether you can agree with David in these words. Maybe you have experienced exactly what he has experienced. He lays everything out. He talks about his physical affliction, and he talks about neighbours and people speaking about him, and he has been ostracised. And now I'm going to turn to verses 1 to 5. In you, Lord, I have taken refuge. Let me never be put to shame. Deliver me in your righteousness. Turn your ear to me. Come quickly to my rescue. Be my rock of refuge, a strong fortress to save me. Since you are my rock and my fortress, for the sake of your name, lead and guide me. Keep me free from the trap that is set for me. You are my refuge. Into your hands I commit my spirit. Deliver me, Lord, my faithful God. What have you wanted to do at those times when you felt that life was closing in on you? What was your coping mechanism? Perhaps you've had the desire to hide away. Perhaps finding a quiet room. Perhaps you have cried in the shower or the bathroom. Do you have a place that you retreat to find peace? Or have you employed a coping mechanism that hasn't been healthy for you? We understand from verses 9 to 13 the stress that David was under. He puts it all out there in Psalm 31. But at the beginning of Psalm 31, he talks about his refuge. David took his refuge, his coping mechanism in God. God is his safe place. God is his fortress. God is his walls of protection from emotional distress. David commits his broken spirit to the Lord to deliver him. He says in that verse 12 that he's broken pottery. What he's saying there, emotionally, he is completely broken. He's reached the end of everything of his endurance. Physically, he's afflicted. Emotionally, he's afflicted. And mentally, he's challenged. He calls himself broken pottery. He sees himself as completely useless. So in verse 5, where he talks about, into your hands I commit my spirit, he's talking about now. He's talking about his emotional spirit now. He's talking about his brokenness. He gives it to God. And he can safely give it to God because God is his refuge. God is his walls of protection. He feels safe in God's protection. To David, when things are tough, his coping mechanism is to turn to God. And that is because he knows that God will deliver him. God will be quickly to hear him, and God will be quick to his rescue. But David doesn't just leave it there. When he goes into that place of safety with God, he tells God everything. He talks about all those physical points, but he also brings his anger towards God as the anger of the situation in God's presence.